Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Brad. Today's video is going to be a surface grinding video, another one. If you remember back in January, Stan from Bar Z, he sent me a package, and it was a birthday present slash welcome to the world of surface grinding, School of Hard Knocks, grind your own version of his squares. So he sent me 4 squares that I'm going to now need to grind, get them 90 and get the hypotenuse ground in. So we're going to do just that. We're going to set them up on the surface grinder. We're going to make some tooling to hold that and get these squares ground up. So let's get started. The web of these squares is about a little less than 3/16 wide and just about a 16th of an inch deep. So got me a 3/8 collet and a 3/16 mill. It's a little 2 flute. So we got our stop set. I got my knee here zero. No, I thought it was zeroed, but it's now zeroed. Yeah, so we have to go about a 16th of an inch deep. You know, 62. I don't know. I'll make it 70 thousandths. I don't really think it's all that critical. It's just a clearance. Lock our spindle. We'll start with about a 35 thousandths cut. Alright, I'm going to break the edges now, stone them down, and then we'll go back to the bench and see how we're making out, see how these squares fit, get ready for surface grinding. Now I'm done with stoning all these burrs that got on here during the milling process, and believe me, there was little tiny burrs that you couldn't see. So I stoned it down, removed all the burrs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust this off. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to dust this side so we're running perfectly parallel. Now, when I'd originally gotten these, I dusted these already. So this side is flat. So I'm just going to redust it to get all the stoning marks off. And then we'll dust this side over here. And then we're going to start with the squares. Alright, this is done now. See how she is. I have everything stoned now. All our grooves are stoned, our outside edges, the bottom edges. Now, in Stan's video, he has 2 blocks, and he kind of puts his like this, in this fashion. But with my X pattern here, I'm doing it in this way, so I could kind of adjust this, you know, really however I want. And what I want to do is I want to close this channel up and come all the way to this lip and to this, eliminating grinding time. So that said, I want to have this edge come a little bit this way so it drops down, so it's ensured that it's ground. My shirt down here. And we're just trying to knock down the high spots if there are any. Now, we'll do this again. Oh. Alright, we'll take this over to the grinder and set it up there. Alright, so we're putting this right against the back fence, nice and tight. Alright, this is our finished cut. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grind the tops now. Alright, I'm going to take a half a thou now. Now I'm going to take 3/10 as my finishing cut. So I set the squares up now on the other side, and we're grinding the other webs now. Alright, now that the inner webs are ground and the tops are ground, we're going to have to do this inner 90-degree surface here. So I got everything cleaned up. Yeah, that's good. Got good contact. Alright, we're going to set up the cup wheel now. We got to put it backwards to get into there. Alright, so I got the tangent radius dresser set up. I have a 1 degree offset to grind this flat part here, because this cup wheel has a flat edge going around here, and obviously it has a flat edge on the face. But I need this cup wheel on the bottom section to go down, so it doesn't make contact with the web of the square. So I'm going to put I have it set to 2 degrees to go in. We're going to shape this thing now, and then we're going to dress the face of it. Alright, last half now. That looks good. There's some staining on this wheel, so it's hard to tell if you got the whole face of it, but the staining is soaked really deep into it. And obviously the stone is porous. But it feels good. So now we're going to turn this thing around and we're going to dress the front face now. Alright, so I positioned the radius dresser to get underneath here and to work its way up, and you can see the movement of it. Alright. I will say this, without a radius dresser, it would be very difficult to get in there and do this. Of course, this cup wheel might be worn out too, so, you know, worn down. But this is, if you have a surface grinder, your next investment should absolutely be one of these radius dressers. You could get them for about $200-300 bucks, and I recommend the Yuasa. I've positioned this now literally within just by eye, within 1,000th of the web face, right? Because we don't want to hit the web face that we just ground. And I'm about 1,000th away from the inner fence that we're going to grind right now. So let's give it a shot. Alright, we got it ground, and the cup wheel, I have it ground so it will actually just go just below the face of the webs here, but it just doesn't feel like it went all that deep. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get deeper in there. Alright, we got our wheel mounted back on here now because we changed it. We got to redress it or we're going to get scalloping. We have the inner webs ground on both sides. We have these outer fences ground on both sides. And we have the inner fence which is what these two squares are resting on. Okay? So now what we need to do is we're setting this up so we could grind the parallel to this inner fence. Now this inner fence is our reference point. So we have that located on the 1, 2, 3 block, so we could grind the parallel. Then we're going to flip this up, and then we're going to grind the top, which is the 90 of that. This was puzzling to me, and I cheated. I couldn't figure it out, so I called Stan and asked him how I should do this, and he asked me if I had 1, 2, 3 blocks that I trust, and I do, and he told me how to go about doing this. You bolt this down, and he told me, put a Joe block underneath your 1, 2, 3 block, so the squares can sit flat against your granite, and the fences can rest tightly up against this. I find it easy, I did that and I tightened it up, and it seemed like it was lifting off a little tiny bit, so I'm trying this approach. I have my granite angle block here. I have a clamp just basically holding this tightly up against the granite. Now I can press down, and it's kind of like a hands-free approach basically. I'm going to press down on here, I'm going to push these against the granite and then secure it down tightly, and then we're going to grind it. Now I got the piece set up, so I'm a 1, 2, 3 block, got it magged down. You'll notice it's all the way on this side of the chuck because these little corners are hitting the fence, so I had to run it past just so this corner will get past the fence. Alright, so we're ready to grind. Alright, we could see that those were very uneven, which is why there was a deep cut taken. So we're going to just walk it down about 1/1000th per pass until they're even. Alright, we made full contact. I'm going to come down with a 1/2 thou cut, and then I'm going to come back with, 2/10 finishing cut. Now I know the camera isn't picking it up, but there's a little micro wire that gets rolled on here when you're grinding. You got to be aware of that. If it doesn't just come off, you're going to have to stone it off. But it is a microfine wire. Looks like steel wool. All right, so we're going to flip this guy up and get this 90 section now. There you can see the wire. Looks like almost like a black line. Now I like putting it that way because the wheel is spinning this way, right? See the direction of the wheel. So it's hitting the piece this way. And I would rather have it pushing against the block on the fence and grinding that way than the other way around on this sharp point. Let me just check this side. just in case this one's a high spot. So I'm just coming down the 1,000th at a time, creeping up on it. All right. All right. This is looking nice. Of course, I'm not taking a lot of metal off. Excellent finish. Let me take a little light stoning and we'll get this thing out of this block and we'll take a look and see what we got.